Welcome to the 2022 Carousell Property Awards. In its second year, Carousell Property is bringing together the country's most recognizable developers and their finest developments in one exciting event.
My name is Ellis Tan, and I'm currently the Executive Director at Eton Properties. One of the things that not very many people know about Eton is that in 1971, we started off as Balaba Corporation, which is actually an oil company. It wasn't until about 2007 where we were renamed Eton Properties, and then we became the real estate arm of LTG. Up to date, we've completed around 35 plus projects all around the Philippines. We specialize in a lot of different multi-use facilities such as residential, office, hotels, commercials, etc. And the most recent projects that we have in the pipeline are a lot of works in Eton City, Blake's as you see here today, and we also have a JV with IL, and that's Parklinks, and it's in between Quezon as well as Pasig. It's no surprise that the pandemic really impacted the real estate industry pretty hard. If we're talking about an office spaces, right? The work from home era is kind of takes a hit to the office tenants that we've had. In the commercial side, a lot of dine-ins and a lot of people that quarantine restrictions as well as curfews really limited the amount of foot traffic in the commercial district. So I think all across the board, we kind of noticed a drop in occupancy because of the pandemic, and as a result, the rates also dropped, which definitely heavily impacted all the real estate companies. Also, and Eton's no stranger to that. But I think what we did do well is we really tried to adapt to the growing demands that were still in the market, and we also tried to retrofit some of our logistics so that we could really encapsulate the new era that the pandemic kind of left us with. Blake's Tower, pre-pandemic, we actually wanted it to be fully residential. We wanted it to be a pseudo work-from-home environment where you could essentially have office spaces as well as residential spaces. So that seamless integration of work-life while also providing the balance of the commercial districts, the balance of West Makati, is something that we really looked at as just retrofitting again to the situation that the pandemic left us with. Blake's Tower is an incredibly innovative and beautiful multi-use facility here in West Makati. We have an office segment, a residential segment, as well as commercial districts just down below. And really the idea of being able to live as well as work, and then also obtain necessities all within the same compound essentially, it really scales with this post-pandemic world. As a kind of pseudo work-from-home type of environment. Blake Tower has about 36 stories, 11 of which are our office, 15 are residential, and then the rest would be for parking as well as the amenities. On the office side, we really offer small-scale, flexible units. Each floor is only about 1,000 square meters, with the ability to subdivide even further depending on tenants' needs and concerns. Nowadays, what we're really finding is in this post-pandemic world is that a lot of our tenants are really looking forward to downscaling the size of their offices as a means of being more effective in terms of their cost. The idea of Blake's really fits into that mold because when you're able to live as well as work in the same environment, one individual isn't necessarily expected to go to the office every single day. They should only be going to the office when they need to, and there's that seamless transition between where they live and where they work. In terms of residential amenities, we have a lot of top-of-the-line amenities here at Blake's, from the pools to the fitness centers to the breakout rooms for functions and meetings. But my favorite is the Sky Lounge here that you see today, just because, well, one, the view is great, but also it gives people a little bit of a breather with the busyness of life. And that's really kind of the idea behind Blake's, is that we really want people to feel at home while at the same time maximizing their efficiency and their output at work. And from a corporate perspective for our corporate clients in office spaces, you're really able to maximize the potential of each individual employee while at the same time not overburdening them with too much stress. Eton has a lot of projects in the pipeline. One of the exciting ones, besides Blake's, is Eton City, and that's in Santa Rosa area. It's a really expansive property, around 300, 400 hectares wide. And there's a lot of different potential with that property, especially as the population starts trending more towards that area. The other thing that we're really looking at in the near future is, and I mentioned this a little bit before as well, the JV we have with Ayala Land, Park Links, which is on the C5 in between Pasig as well as Quezon City. And that's very interesting because it's one of the biggest JV projects with two very big real estate companies working on it. And we really, try to integrate a lot of the values of both of those real estate companies, right, with the multi-use types of experience that we have. Just wanted to thank the awards for being, for having us and acknowledging Blake's as one of its contenders, because we spent a really long time, reflecting on the model and really reevaluating a lot of the purpose of the property. And it's really nice to achieve, recognition for that, simply because we also believe that the mission of Blake's is really in line with the adaptation that the post-pandemic world kind of left us in. Feel very inspired, and this really raises the bar, in my opinion, for Eton's standards. And in the future, we want to propel Eton to greater heights even.
Visit carousell.com/property. Find every kind of home for every kind of buyer on Carousell.